When it comes to 90s anime, one of the most influential ones was Sailor Moon. Pretty much what is known as the most recognizable magical girl anime. Initially starting out as a manga created by Naoko Takeuchi, it then became known as the anime that defined the magical girl genre, even influencing others of its genre, including my favorite anime of all time. Of course, with a massive success like Sailor Moon, there's bound to be some games. However, most of them were only released in Japan, only very few were released in the West, including the one we're looking at today. The 3D Adventures of Sailor Moon, released in 1997 by 3VR Inc. And I can already tell you this was the only game they ever made. Not only that, but this game didn't even get released internationally. Instead, it was only released in the US. By that time, Sailor Moon and pretty much anime in general were just starting to become big in the West. So maybe this game may be kinda rough. So without further ado, let's start the game. Do you want to play the Sailor Moon game? Sure, why not? I forgot to mention this. This game is based on the Dick Dub. You know, the Americanized Sailor Moon. So much noticeable by the logo and the theme. It's literally just a butchered version of the Japanese theme song. On top of that, the intro looks terrible and those 3D models look so cheap and poorly made. I guess they probably had a cheap budget. If they did, it explains why.
Oh no! Queen Beryl has her hands on the Sailor Scouts' transformational items! Welcome to the 3D Adventures of Sailor Moon. Your mission is to uncover the Sailor Scouts' hidden transformational items as you explore the various play areas. Click on the...
That is the ugliest thing I have ever saw.
This main menu literally looks like one of those generic kids websites from the late 90s or early 2000s. Filled with some awful MIDI music. Anyway, this game actually has a story, so let's watch it.
In a not too far away dimension, evil Queen Beryl lavishes over her newly stolen possessions. For now, she has the transformational pens and the moon wand belonging to Sailor Moon and her squad of teenage fighters, known as the Sailor Scouts. The once protectors of the universe are now unable to transform into their superhero counterparts and ward off the evil powers of the Negaverse. What is the world to do? Evil Queen Beryl has secretly hidden these moon transformational items in different dimensional rooms, and it is your duty as a Sailor Scout in training to help the Sailor Scouts thwart off the evil plans of Queen Beryl to drain the universe of its life forces. Fight for all that is right, and triumph over all evils, and that means you. Good luck!
Okay. So yeah, the story is that the Sailor Guardians have lost their transformation pens, and now they want you to find them for them. Because yeah, the Guardians are too lazy to find them themselves when the Japanese ones would actually try to do it by themselves. But hopefully the game itself won't be that bad, right? First I went to the Galactic Moon Library. After that, the generic startup screen were set in this weird first-person perspective that's awkward to use. And no matter on what screen you click, you always get the same thing. So after you click on the screen, you get these screenshots from the anime and extremely vague explanations of the cassette, aside from Neptune, Uranus, Saturn and Pluto. And yes, you may notice the game uses the dick names, Tusagi being Serena, Makoto somehow having Lita as a good alternative. If that wasn't bad enough, they also have these poorly done monotone narrations that you can clearly tell it wasn't done by a professional voice actor.
When Serena shouts Moon Prism Power, she transforms into Sailor Moon. Serena sometimes wishes she was just an ordinary kid, but long ago she was chosen to be the leader of the Sailor Scouts. She possesses the Imperial Silver Crystal, a very powerful tool for protecting the universe against the evil forces of the Negaverse. She has amazing powers against all evil. Serena is not always courageous and is sometimes very fearful, but with the help and encouragement from her friends, she always succeeds. She will always be a dedicated fighter for love and justice. When Amy shouts Mercury power, she transforms into Sailor Mercury, also known as the Brilliant Fighter. Amy loves to work hard in school and is a straight-A student and a whiz on the computer. She uses a special computer for downloading information about the enemy. Her dream is to become a doctor someday, but right now her life as a Sailor Scout is very important to her. Sailor Mercury has the power over water, sending up blasts of bubbles to confuse and fog out the enemy. She often is seen with blue goggles that give her special vision to battle against evil forces. When Ray shouts Mars power, she transforms into Sailor Mars, a dedicated and passionate fighter. Sailor Mars has the unique ability to sense when evil is near. She uses a Japanese scroll to fend off bad spirits. She has the power over fire and can send a stream of fireballs with her Mars Fire Ignite attack. She is a really good listener, but sometimes has a bad temper. When Lita shouts Jupiter power, she transforms into Sailor Jupiter, the eldest dedicated member of the Sailor Scouts. Sailor Jupiter has the power over electricity and lightning, and can crash anything anywhere with a supreme thunder crash attack. She loves to cook and dreams of becoming a master chef with her own restaurant. Maybe one of the reasons why she is so supportive of Serena is because Serena always loves her cooking and is glad to share. When Mina shouts Venus power, she transforms into Sailor Venus, known as the superhero all over town. Sailor Venus's special power is a beam of energy that can weaken any opponent's attack. She is a great negotiator and always seems to get the Scouts to work as a team to battle against the evil forces. She sometimes takes charge and becomes the leader, especially when her friends need extra encouragement and reinforcement. Darian always appears out of nowhere as Tuxedo Mask to help the Scouts when they are in trouble. He carries a magical red rose to announce his presence. When he battles against evil forces, this rose becomes a weapon to neutralize and weaken the enemy. Rini is the youngest of the group. She is very important for the future of the Sailor Scouts. Her mission is to find the silver crystal in order to save her mother's life, which she will need to survive in the future.
Hearing that narration is extremely confusing to understand, especially if you're not even familiar with Sailor Moon. This explanation is literally comparable to Nostalgia Critic's review of the anime.
14-year-old girl acts stupid, uses magical powers to look slutty and stupid, talking cat tells her how to fight crime because she's so stupid, surrounds herself with smarter girls that make her look even more stupid.
That's Sailor Moon.
What?
The formula you're describing is Sailor Moon.
Do they have a villain that keeps attacking the same town?
Yes.
Do they have a tedious romance with a magic boyfriend?
Yes.
Do they repeat the same animation?
Worse than Hanna-Barbera!
And it was successful?
It's one of the most popular animes of all time!
Eureka? Oh dear, well this is embarrassing.
While we don't think about that, let's get back to the game. So other than the spaceship there, as well as the circle in the middle, all of the locations here are minigames. I decided to pick the clown house first, because it looks the most freaky out of them all. After the opening, which doesn't even look like what the minigame is gonna be about, we get to the game itself. You assume looking by the screen that it's gonna be a Rubik's Cube minigame, right? Well, nope, it's a puzzle game, because somehow this can translate to this. Well, I guess it won't work well at all, wouldn't it? Well, of course it doesn't. Simply it's a normal jigsaw puzzle game with most of the pictures being screenshots from the anime or some stock photos of the characters. Sometimes it can be impossible to finish because you also need to have the background of the image correctly, which can become even more difficult while some of them are incredibly easy. You can select the number of pieces and the puzzle you'll need to solve is that which appears right when you click on the cube. while I will give credit for having a random selection instead of just simply picking one. Depending on the speed of your processor, it can be hard to pick the one you want, and you might accidentally get the same one again. Also, with the more pieces, it can be even harder with some pictures, because you can hardly tell if the background is in the right spot. So anyway, moving on. Crystal Fighting Arena. Finally, something that will probably be good. If anything, this might be the only good part of the game, right? It's a shooter with a Doom-like view, and you need to shoot these crystal thingies. I don't even know what those things are. The hit detection is terrible, because sometimes these things just randomly bounce off, and sometimes it's hard to even hit them properly. So this may take longer than you expect it to take. Other than those crystals, the last thing you fight is this circle cube thingy with the villains from the anime on it. What? After defeating that, you're back to the main menu. Well, that was anticlimactic, sure it wasn't it? Next is the Moon Fashion Salon, and I can easily say this is the worst game out of any games in this game. Yeah. First of all, we're treated with these horrible 3D models that makes PUBG 3D look like Unreal or Half-Life. Then we get to dress up each of the Sailor Guardian you chose. These poorly cut PNG outfits on these poorly cut stock photos of the characters. It literally looks like those shitty fashion flash games that you find online. You can literally put more than one outfit in the same spot. I mean, look at this, I'm gonna put everything on her and then... Oh, the game crashed. Well, yeah, whatever. For the last two, there's not even much talking about it. Basically, you have this where you watch clips from the anime, poorly compressed, with awful stock music in the background. And then one of them has whatever this music is supposed to be. And the last thing is this karaoke where you just sing the theme song and watch the intro you watched before. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for the game. But we left something out. You may notice these transformation pens that appear in the bottom. When you play the minigames, you collect them and they just randomly come at you.
Super job! You found Sailor Jupiter's transformational pen!
However, you can't save your progress, nor does the game save the progress for you. So every time you restart, you need to search for all of them again. And because the game crashed for me, I didn't get to collect all of them. So instead, I'm gonna show you this footage I found online of the ending, and you'll see how much not worth it is.
Congratulations! You found them all! The Sailor Scouts can now transform and fight off the evil forces of the Negaverse. Great job! Click on the center star to enter the wondrous virtual 3D city. Welcome to the 3D adventures of Sailor Moon. There's lots of fun things to do and cool stuff to check out. Use your mouse to move around the virtual moon kingdom. To move forward, click the left mouse button. To move backward, click the right mouse button. To go to the left or right, move the mouse button in the direction you want to go. To get inside a play area, double-click the mouse button. It's easy. Try it now.
And that's it. So yeah, overall this is a terrible game, and it's obviously nothing more than low quality shovelware. And the sad thing is, this is one of the very few Sailor Moon games available in the West. So that means back in the day, if you lived in America, this was the only game you could really get. But nowadays, since the advent of emulators and ROMs, I guess it's better to just play those other better Sailor Moon games instead. Or at the same time, you can just watch the anime or read the manga. So yeah. That was it. Hey there guys, thanks for watching my first game review. I will say, I feel it's a little bit rough, but I at least tried. And yes, I'll make more game reviews in the coming years. Now I'll probably work on my next review when I feel like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I do feel it could have been a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching and until we see next time, goodbye.